Hello, my name is Rocco Williams, and I'm going to go through my course on diagramming and breaking down a student expectation, or SE. The theory I chose to follow is the constructivist theory, and the method is the 5E model of instruction from Biological Science Curriculum Study, or BSCS. The intended audience of my course would be a staff at a campus with teachers of varying levels of experience, as well as levels of comfort with technology. Next, we see the goals and objectives of this course. They are to label the various parts of a student expectation, 2, to demonstrate ability to diagram any SE from any content area in a visually graphic way, 3, utilize the diagrammed SE to design concrete daily learning objectives, or DLOs. 4, analyze student data reports using the diagrammed SEs. And 5, create an intervention plan based on current student data and the diagram of a low-tested SE. In the Engage portion of the module, the students will be shown an SE and practice identifying the verb by circling it and the nouns by underlining them. To ensure that all participants can do this, they will take an SE from their grade level and content and identify the verbs and nouns by circling and underlining. They will then post their broken down SE to a discussion board in order to share with their colleagues. Creating an index of broken down SEs is a good idea for a campus so that teachers can reference each other's work in case they get confused breaking down their own SEs. During the Explore section, the learners will watch a short video from leadforward.com that explains how to take the SE and turn it into a visually appealing diagram. They will then take a short quiz to ensure that they got the most important information from the video. Lastly, they will go through a gradual release of responsibility following the I do, we do, you do model. This will be accomplished through a screen capture video done by the designer. Students will have to completely diagram the SE that they broke down from the Engage portion and submit it to the instructor. It is after the Explore that the instructor notices that 2 teachers did not post their breakdown to the discussion board. Their quiz grades from the video were very low, and the diagrams that they submitted were done incorrectly. So far in this course, there have been 3 assignments, and in all 3 of these, the 2 students performed below level. As the designer, the first thing I would do is assign a mid-course reflection to the whole group. Mid-course reflections shift the power to the students mid-semester to reflect on their own learning and give that feedback to the instructor so that he or she is able to change or alter methods and strategies to facilitate the learning process. Berridge, Penny, and Wells, 2012, page 72. In the reflection, I would have the teachers reflect on what they have learned this far and how it might help them in their instruction. They would also need to reflect on how this might enable students to better learn a topic. In short, I want them to make the connection of what they are learning to everyday classroom instruction. The next thing I would do is analyze the responses of the whole group, with special attention given to the 2 struggling teachers. My assumption would be that their struggles come from not seeing the relevance in the work we are doing. They may have a "how is this going to help me" attitude toward the new method of analyzing a student expectation. Based on how they respond to their reflection questions determines how I would respond as a designer. If they imply that they do not see the importance of breaking down the SE in this way, I would reach out through email and ask them if there was a better way they had seen to break down an SE. This positive presupposition emphasizes that the manner in which we break it down is not as important as the fact that we intimately understand where the students need to go. I would also adjust the course to allow them to break down just their own SEs. This would allow them to do work that they find relevant. I would not force them to continue to break down SEs from other grade levels or contents. If they respond that it is not an unwillingness to learn, but difficulty with the assignments themselves, I would once again reach out with an email and ask them each specifically what about the assignments is causing them to be confused. As Ayaduju, Doimus, and Simsek remind us, Chickering and Gamson's first principle of student-to-faculty interaction shows many positive effects on student success. I would adjust my following activity by making myself available over Skype to assist them in completing the next assignment. In the Explain portion, the teachers take the diagrammed SEs and use them to create a daily learning objective, or DLO. A DLO is different from the student expectation because it takes just one strand of the SE and turns it into a measurable objective that the students can master in a day or two. It is important that the students know what they are expected to be able to do after a day of learning. A DLO spells out exactly what they should be able to know, understand, or do. Being available over Skype would be an excellent way for me to reach out to the struggling teachers and continue with the I do, we do, you do model in order for them to be able to complete the work independently. By using the strategies of mid-course reflection and reaching out through email to determine the source of struggle for my two students, I believe I will be able to get them back on track to complete the final portions of the course successfully. In the Elaborate section, we use the diagrammed SE to analyze a released question from the state-administered summative evaluation. Doing this allows the teacher to see which part of an SE their students struggled with. Some SEs are so long and vocabulary heavy that it is not clear which part the students are confused on. Using the diagram helps us to isolate the problem by identifying which strand of the SE the students struggled with and the question is asking about. As it is now evident, being able to diagram an SE is vital to everything we are doing in the remainder of the course. If a student struggles with that basic concept, then they will have a very hard time completing any section moving forward. To ensure that my two struggling teachers are on track still, I would advise that they work with a partner on this section of the module. Allowing for peer-to-peer interaction gives the struggling learner yet another level of support to help them master this concept. Lastly is the Evaluate segment of the course. In order to see that the teachers can take everything presented and use it to enhance their instruction, they will create an intervention plan for one strand of a diagrammed SE. This means they will start from scratch with the new SE. The first thing they will do is identify an item from a benchmark test that most of their students struggled with. They will take the SE from that question and diagram it. Then they will isolate the strand of the diagram that the question was evaluating. From that strand, they will write a daily learning objective for a lesson reteaching that concept. All of this work will be submitted to the course instructor.